Hello, everyone. Excuse my sick voice, but I am sick. But I'm back. I'm back from vacation. We are back on the Alchem3 server. Oh, I've missed it so much. I've actually been on, since I've been back, but I haven't been on a lot since I've been back. I basically got on, walked around. You saw me on Bones' stream, if you saw Bones' stream. Which, if you didn't, I have a real treat for you guys tonight, but I also... Whoops, I forgot that was there. Also, it's October now. My house has been spookified. There's all these hanging cobwebs, all these jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins. It's even more cluttered in here than usual. I think that was there before, but I don't know for sure. That was definitely not there before. What else? Oh, and there's a beastie in my basement. If you keep seeing my mic light up like that, I am coughing. I'm a little bit sick still. I got sick on vacation, but I'm fine. I'm a little tired. I'm quite jet-lagged. And I'm sure you're all wondering where I was. Well, that's such a good question, because it is not one clear, coherent answer. It is instead a map I need to look up again. 5 countries. Because we went on a little tour around Imperial Europe is what the tour was called. So it was Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Austria. And it was a very, very cool tour. That's new. What is that? Webbing. Yeah. I'll have more stories to tell about it in the future. I was going to get, like, photos set up because I took a lot of pictures on the trip and lots that I could show you guys, but I didn't get that set up for tonight, so I'll probably have some stories as I think of them, as people get in and ask me what I've been up to, where I was, what have I been doing. But while we wait for some more people to get in, and in fact I'm gonna go bother Bones right now because he was the one who so badly wanted to see me update my thing. Hold on. So, Bones has been doing a little bit of work on his big project on the server. If you saw his stream, you will know. But this is what my map of his island looks like currently. This is not what it looks like anymore. So we're gonna go head over there at some point and watch my Distant Horizons LOD just, like, disintegrate. Because the tunnel bore is done. He's done running it. Another thing you may have missed is that the tunnel bore went to purgatory for a little bit his last stream, and I had to fix that the day I got back? Was that? No, that was the day after. Yeah, because I got back late. It was the day after I got back, but I was pretty jet-lagged and sick. And barely awake at my desk. So that was fun. But I've made an improvement to the Tough Farm in my little time that I was on last night. I found out that if you set the filter on these, it doesn't just wait for 9 items, it waits for 9 of the same item, which means that I can start compressing flint again. Because originally what the problem was that all of these separate stacks would just build up in the basin, and it would get over full, and then it wouldn't actually be able to pick up the needed items to make 9 of anything. But now, the basin only ever gets items in it when there are 9 to go in. Which means that I don't need a disposal chute for the tough, and we can start saving tough again, which means we now have 300 blocks of tough from the last time I was on here. Where'd that barrel go? There. Yeah, this tough farm, I'm really not happy with it. I keep having lag issues with it, which is my biggest problem. It lags, and then... Come on. There you go. It lags, and then items spew out everywhere, and then it's a huge pain in the ass, so... I'm going to figure out... I have one plan. I have a plan on how to fix this. It does, however, mean entirely redesigning this farm and figuring out how to make either iron or stone. Well, probably iron, because, you know, we have enough iron. Although I do actually want to check, do some calculations. Okay. Iron pickaxe has 250 durability. Washing, or crushing even. That's not what you look up for that. Tough. When you crush tough, you have a 10% chance of getting an iron nugget. So... 25 iron nuggets on average per pickaxe. That is actually not enough to break even. You do not get 3 iron nuggets worth, or 3 iron ingots worth of iron from an iron pickaxe. That sucks. Okay. What are the options then? Gold will be even worse. Damn. I was really hoping that would break even. That sucks. And I mean, we could just run in a deficit for a while. A pickaxe deficit. But I feel like that's a pretty lame way to drain our iron reserves. Yeah, okay. I will have to figure this out. Basically, the problem I have here is that the drills just let the item drop everywhere, which is why there is a stack of tough blocks behind this drill. It's useless. I don't like that. So, the solution is... What is the solution? Deployers. Deployers set on attack mode, holding a pickaxe. Will break blocks. And better yet... Oh yeah, you can see that I was on here to deal with a raid as well. Was that on stream? I have no idea. I do not remember. I was so tired. I am quite tired still. Gonna be a shorter stream tonight, if you can believe it. It's not gonna be a 6-hour stream, and you can hold me to that one. Absolutely. Yeah. Pickaxes can break the item and produce it. And the reason I want this is so that we can put it directly onto the belts, which means we don't have the item entity ever at all. Not having to deal with the item entity solves all of my problems. Except for the fact that I built this like across a chunk border when I did not have to, and that's probably causing a lot of problems all on its own. But you know what? Eventually that won't be a problem, because I'm gonna move all of this. I also stole this from the basement, so we're gonna go put it back. Hey, Navy. Yeah, Navy is once again the first person who gets the Wordles. and it kills me. I was ahead by 1 hour for like 15 days, I think. And it was so nice. Hey, Navy, welcome in. Navy, I don't think you heard where I was, other than 1 hour ahead of you. I was in Germany, and the Czech Republic, and Slovakia, and Austria, and Hungary. And then Germany again. And actually, I did that in the wrong order. I said those in the wrong order. I was in 5 countries over those 15 days, and it was pretty great. Did a lot of touring. 1 second. Alrighty. Yeah, it was a big tour. It was very cool. I will have more stories and pictures to tell probably next stream. I was gonna have that set up this stream. I didn't get it done because I was embroidering instead. But currently, trying to figure out this. I want to make this farm better. You were aware there was some speaking of German involved. Oh man, okay. This is like ridiculous to focus on because I was just in like on the other side of the world basically for 2 weeks. But as of more recently, as of like today, I have been catching up on the Magnus Protocol, and oh my god. I can't even say anything because it's spoilers. If you aren't caught up, I can't say anything. Why is there a dandelion here and a poppy? I thought I got rid of all of these. I thought, where the hell did these come from? I left only the classical flowers because the other ones spread. Damn it. I thought it was weird there were butterflies on this island. Minecraft on Thursday. Hey, Bones, welcome in. How are you doing, man? Okay. What are we doing? We are going to go to our base. That's not going to our base. I'm just gonna leave all the cobwebs and everything up. I might move the basement ghoul because he's kind of in my way. What? Why did that make 2 noises? You can chill here. And pop those away. Dump all of that up there because I'll deal with it later. Let's go fix our distant horizons. Let's go watch a bunch of land disintegrate. That's what Bones is here for. We're not going to keep him waiting. So there's the island in all of its distant glory. We can see on my map as well the island in the state I last saw it. Actually, let's go pay our respects to the tunnel bore. A job well done. Look at this thing. It can finally rest, guys. It probably won't, but it could. Now. I know Bones. Yep. There it goes. There it all goes. Bones has created his own super flat continent. He left the cobwebs. But yeah, this is a project on a scale that you require distant horizons to appreciate it. It does not load all at once. I assume he didn't want that block. Notice anything different? Maybe. Maybe just a touch. Bones, if you want these blocks, you better tell me, because I'm gonna keep breaking them. Your block? Alright, I'll leave him. Is it this boar? Did this boar get a haircut? Is that what's different? Oh, he's no interest. But yeah, just a little different from the last time we were here. This is just ridiculous. Oh my gosh. That's something we could do. We could try and figure out the water spell for Bones. Well, not for Bones, but as an exercise for myself. Because I think it would be a little interesting to figure out how to do it. You know what else we can do? Is steal. Don't tell Bones. I know he's in chat, but don't tell him. I'll repave, don't worry. God, it's been so long since I've been on stream. And, like, you guys know that better than I do. I was busy. I don't know why I worded it that way. It makes it sound like I think no one who watches my streams has a life, which... I don't know. That might be the case. There. He'll never know. Why logs? Because that's what I have. Oh. You may notice the current project, bag is... I'm not doing anything with this right now. You know what I can do? That, for no discernible reason. Hold on. Speaking of, did you guys hear that they have announced the second Minecraft movie? If I have to know about this, everybody does. There's gonna be another Minecraft movie. Because they hate me specifically. And I bet you that Alex isn't even going to be left-handed. Yeah, they just announced it today. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but... my lighting's being weird. It's so dark. Yeah. Which reminds me, I still need to have a Discord movie night. I was also going to do that tonight. I was going to have, like, some dates set aside. Gonna put an announcement in my Discord, but I haven't picked any dates, and I am kind of nebulously busy, maybe, soon. I'd like to be, but there's no guarantee that I will be. Do you think this one will be more blatant with the attempt at making memes? I don't know how much more blatant they can get. Speaking of, okay. So, one thing that happened on my trip, which I will share right now, is that my dad learned what the chicken jockey meme was, over dinner. He then immediately compared it to the insult, like calling someone chicken legs for having skinny legs, and then he said chicken jockey in the phrasing, in the tone. Don't pity him, he's like this on purpose. When we used to play Minecraft as a family, he was a fantastic griefer. And he learned what Herobrine was, and then set his Minecraft skin to Herobrine to, I guess, because it was funny. That's probably the funniest thing about Herobrine to me, is that even to this day, I still see it, and like there's a part of my brain that thinks like, oh, that's my dad. It's not my dad. But every so often, it is what I think. Canon now. Alright. What else did we have on the docket today? Really just update the map. This is crazy. I cannot believe he did this. Like, just for reference. If you look up here, do you think my dad would be cool with fan art? I mean, yeah. I don't know why he wouldn't be. So this is 695 at the top. And we're gonna go all the way down here. It is... Actually, we'll go all the way down here to 1241. That is 600 blocks, like, the short way. For the record, you have a job. Yeah, clearly, it's called clearing that island. It's called the Onceler Activities. That's Bones' job. Also, we have a gift. Blaze cakes. From our dear friend Max. Don't remember what was in the other gift. I think it was the crab eggs or the hellbark saplings, or it could have been both. But we have these. And if we wanted to power up our boilers, we could use these. However, I'm going to hold off on that, because there is an achievement that I've kind of been wanting to do. If I can find it. Where is it? Okay, maybe it's not in here, maybe it's hidden. I could have sworn it was in here. I feel like I was just looking at it. Leave a train seat over 5,000 blocks away from where you started traveling? We'll probably do that. Bones is being more unemployed than you are, and you don't actually have a job. Damn. I don't know, a good project will do that. Okay. Where is it? It's not here. Okay. There is an achievement for running a boiler at the max state. Currently, it's not big enough. It's not big enough, it doesn't get enough water, and it doesn't get enough heat. The blaze cakes will double the heat output of each of these, so that will fix the heat. The water, we just would need to have better pumps set up. And the size... yeah. There's not space for that. Hey Stump, welcome in. I am a little sick. If you can hear it in my voice, that's why. If you can't hear it in my voice, I'm sick, and I'm telling you now. I caught it on my vacation. Which is so lame. Navy, I'm also not working on a project of ridiculous scale. Well... okay. Depends what you call ridiculous scale. Because... if you guys remember my Minecraft patch, I'm currently working on a patch that is the same size as that, Although I would argue this one is much less complicated. It's way more straightforward, and it's not going to take me 3 months. In fact, it'll probably take me... Oh, I don't want to speculate, because I'm going to put a timetable on myself. It won't take me 3 months. The dye patch? No. A different patch. The tree. I have a picture of it somewhere. This is not it. Yeah, my embroidered patch. I also need to work on the dye mod. That is another project of ridiculous scale. That I should have known it was going to be. You're currently drenched in water. What are you up to, Max? Okay. I can't find it. Yeah, okay. What I'm gonna do is turn this back on. And pretend it's not a problem. Thank you, Bones. Much appreciated. Blaze cake's in there. We don't need grass blocks or stone in here. Or tough, for that matter. Would have been more impressive if you didn't keep that one hill in the middle. I mean, it's pretty fucking impressive, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, okay. You know what we're doing? We're gonna go over there. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna turn off distant horizons. And... Can I get the vanilla fog back on, please? There. So no more distant horizons. We're gonna go over there. I feel like I'm blind now, but whatever. And I'm gonna land on this far end of the island over here. And I'm gonna walk in this direction. And I'm going to see absolutely nothing, because this is ridiculous. There's nothing here. It's all gone. You can walk out... I feel like if you walk out into the middle, you can get to a point where there is nothing. Okay, we went a little bit too far that way. Yeah, if we get to like that, if we go to the cobwebs... There's that little thing over there. And if we back up... There's nothing here. Bones, you're playing with distant horizons and it's screwing with you. Thank you, Max. But if I turn that back on and I turn off the vanilla fog, we can get back to our regular super-powered eyesight. We can see Max's beacon. And we can see Bones's incredible fucking project here. This is just nuts. Anyhow. What are we doing tonight? I could try and rework... Ow. I could try and rework this farm, like, tonight. I don't know. I don't know, and it's annoying. I'm mad that I found out that it doesn't break even on the iron. So this would be a negative iron farm if I used an iron pickaxe in deployer. And that's no good. I don't like that. But these items flying everywhere is just, like, I can't deal with it. Okay. So, I have a lot of diamond pickaxes. This would not be renewable at all, but I could dump these, just all of these, into a box, and then when they run out, deal with it then. That doesn't feel like the most ideal solution, but it is technically a solution. I've also just smudged my glasses, hold on. Nobody say anything funny in chat, I can't read. I know I've made a joke at some point about having a stream where I just don't wear my glasses, and like, it really would just be as if I wasn't looking at the screen. I get some vague colors. Alright. What do we want to do here? Oh, that was that thing. I am blind as a bat. Bats have pretty good eyesight. I'm as blind as the... Oh, what's the cave-dwelling salamander with no eyes? Somebody's gotta know in my chat. If they're gonna know anywhere, it's gonna be in my chat. The Olm, thank you. The old. Their name is Buddy, indeed. Ugh. This tough farm is gonna be the death of me. I feel like I'm not doing it the best way. There's gotta be a better way to do it, because this sucks. You love your archaic sayings and vocab, let you have yours. Fair enough. This sucks. This sucks and it needs to be better. But it's very hard to harvest a block from this position, because this is how the liquids need to be arranged. So yeah, the main benefit of drills is that they don't take durability. If it was a moving structure, we would have a better situation. The problem with a moving structure is timing. Because I did try. I did my level best to do a moving structure because that also avoids the item entities. That is the biggest problem, is item entities. It's the worst part of this. So if I go onto the map and I hold down tab, you can see these. These are no good. Don't forget my first design for a tough generator. I remember. I recall. I drew a little bit of a fun shape while showing Max how I might theoretically make a tough generator, because I didn't know how it worked, right? And so when you look at this, you look at world interactions, lava plus water, placed, or like sinking bubble column, I assumed it would consume the water, so I thought there needed to be 2 water source blocks on either side, or a water source block on either side. That is not the case at all. As you can see, it just generates above. So there's a problem with a similar rotating harvester. The problem with a rotating harvester is that these are solid blocks. And they stop rotating things. That was another problem with the moving structure. Was that if the tuff generated while the machine was moving through that block, it would get stopped. I actually don't know if a rotating harvester would have the same problem. But yeah. No, drills would work that way. If I grab this sucker, and I come over here. Pause that. And I swap you out. And I get a solid block of some description. Ta-da! They do work. Oh, I still need to have that broken, actually. Nope. So yeah. Theoretically, it would work. I think it might get stuck in the blocks. I didn't test a rotating harvester like that, which, you know, I could. Very well could. There's no reason this needs to be in a straight line. Alright, do we want to go to a creative world and do some testing? You watched the Alchem3 Tetris World Record video yesterday? Hell yeah, why? What possessed you to do that? And did you watch the whole thing? What did I have for dinner? I had some ginger beef with some roasted bok choy. Oh my god. I love bok choy. Especially the way we do. We make it up. It's so good. Alchem3 is very interesting. It's one of those situations where it's like, I worry just because I worry about any people who get famous on the internet as children. I don't think anything good ever comes from it. But as far as teenagers who are famous on the internet go, he's pretty cool. You currently having quesadilla? Hell yeah. You putting anything fancy in that, or is it just cheese? Because we could do something probably just the same size as this, really, a 5x5 area. He cubes, too. I think I knew that. Indian spice chickpea and potato filling. Hell yeah. That sounds delicious, Bones. He cubes, yeah. Speed cubing. Like what Navy does. That is a funny verb if you're not familiar with it. Okay. Enough running around. Let's go to a creative world. You guys are going to the chatting screen because I can't remember where I logged out on this world. Does he play Minecraft? Can we get him on? If he plays Minecraft, we cannot get him on. I wouldn't think we could anyway. I don't know, maybe Navy's got connections that he's not sharing. It's a weird verb if you don't know what it means already. We could go to spec test, actually. If I don't want to just hide the world from you guys. Because I know there's nothing on spec test that's a problem. And spec test is so named because when I was making this mod pack, and I added Hexical, which adds the specs, it was crashing all the time. Is this where the fish are? Yes. These guys are custom-colored fish. Bones is dying of clout thirst. Can we get Rendog on here? That would fix things. Alright. Here's a nice flat area to work. Let's start with... drill. Magma. Water. Lava. Item. Not what they're called. What the fuck are those things called? Interface. Yes. It's even more telling that Rendog was the first name you went to. You said popular Minecraft server? Popular Minecraft SMP right now. And the popular one that is in my mind right now is Vampires, which I haven't watched any of, but that's what I've been seeing about. Freudian slip, but it's Minecraft. There are a lot of those. I mean, I'm aware. But there's one I've been hearing about, as of recently. So, that's the one I'm thinking about. Do you think Ren would join? I don't think so. I'll be honest. Maybe if we got Martin on, then he'd join. Speaking of Martin, did you guys see... Okay, maybe this isn't... Maybe you guys don't care. But I care about this. I'm very excited about this. Did you guys see that Yog Labs is coming back? Oh my god. Like, that was something I watched a lot of as a kid. Just so much of, truly. Okay. Create. If I can spell. Nope. You have no idea what that is? It was basically what Yogscast did to review mods, but they did it in like a special world that was all designed like a laboratory. I'm saying it like that on purpose. And there was one very specific thing that it was like a joke, kind of. There was an old mod that did like moving blocks, kind of like how Create does now. But it wasn't updated, so they didn't have it for a long time. So they had a huge vault door that they like opened up to be the grand opening of Yog Labs in the first couple of episodes. But then the mod stopped getting updated, so the door was just always closed. But now they released a YouTube short of them opening the door again with Create, and I'm just... It's cool. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch it. What the hell am I looking for? I'm looking for... something. The rotators. The bearings! That's what I'm looking for. You there. One of the servers is specifically for people who are in common in both communities. That's really neat, Navy. Shaft. Okay. Do this. Do that. So I can do this. And that. And then we have drills. Perfect. And then need a block of some description. We didn't need to put it over there, but I did anyway. That's not where I wanted to put that. I also forgot that I could just do this. Ta-da! And then... And then... I forgot to glue it together. Okay, hold on. How do I fix this? I wish there was a lava sponge, but there is not. Okay. It's fine. We'll put the lava back. Where? Destroy liquid spell. Oh yeah. I feel like we're missing a drill somehow. There we go. Alright, and now... I don't know why it's so jerky, but, you know? That's fine. Oh, it has no storage. It's also not reaching the corners, which is strange. Okay. Find out where that went. Get ourselves a barrel. There we go. All right. So, I don't really know why this has decided to stop unloading. I would guess it has something to do with this being run too fast. Turn that down a little. Nope. Okay. Well. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on this as a solution either. I mean, I guess it works, but like, I don't know. I don't like it. That's my problem. Wand. Wand. Nope. Staff. It does unload sometimes. You got me there. Let's see if I remember how to do this. That's not it. Destroy liquid. I remember the liquid spells are something like this. But I feel like the destroy liquid spell is something weirder. It is... That's the cap lock's key. There we go. It's not elegant, no. Okay. This stops. Just knock it off. Let's think. So the way that the other one works, the sugarcane farm works. Like this. That would fix one problem. Don't know that it would fix many others. Okay. Alright. It's break time, so I'll be back in about 4 minutes. I'm gonna do all that again. I'll BRB. Alrighty. So, we have this. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. We've got this. I turned it down more. It's all kinds of weird in the order of the blocks that it's breaking, but it is making a reasonable amount of tough. Did it just stop? Nope. Yeah, this thing is very strange. Orange vanilla sparkling water, hell yeah. I don't know where it's getting 28. There are 25 blocks. There are 24 blocks that it can break. If I don't do that. Okay. I turned down to half speed, because it wasn't always stopping here. Okay. Don't know where 32 came from. Other than tough, like, spawning in front of the drill as it's drilling, I don't know. So here's the other problem. I want this to look nice. And this big hamburger of a tough farm is not sparking a lot of joy for me. It is the eternal problem I have of I want things to look pretty, but I also want them to be functional. And currently, my current tough farm looks very nice. I like how it looks. I don't like how it functions. So there's the problem. Industrial things don't tend to look pretty, I guess, but like, create things look pretty. They're steampunking it up. I want to break the mold here. I can't believe fire tick was set to true on this world. I just remembered that that barrel was burning. What? Hey. How did that get under there? I also have to finish my building project on this server, because I've not done any work on it in a long-ass time. Ugh, there's so many things I've got to do. Too many projects. Alright. So that's the question here, is how fast can I make this run in a way that it runs well? Am I stuck under the ice somehow? There we go. Looking at me with really sad eyes. No one needs the Akasic library, is the thing. There's nothing pushing me to get it done. I was doing it because it's a nice utility, but I don't need it right now. Yeah, now I feel like it's not breaking nearly as much tough. Maybe it is. I have no idea. This is so hard to judge. Okay. Nope. What are they called? Bolts. Yeah. We don't need that much. I don't know what I'm doing. Do this. Do this. It's a cool build, and I have not spoiled the secret centerpiece. I haven't finished the secret centerpiece. It's a nice build. I like the build. I need to finish it. Finish designing it, even. What the hell am I looking for? Observer. Smart observer and display link. And that's not a display link, that's a display. Then we'll need a cog and another motor. Took me a little bit to remember what the hell that was called. Okay. Do this. Do that. Nope. 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 There we go. List matching items. Yes. Are you going to? No, because this isn't powered. It's got to be at least 32. There we are. Now we have a counter. I probably could have, like, started this at a certain point. Okay, hold on. We'll do that for now. Cauldron. Yeah. Do this. Do this. Okay. And then... gonna get ourselves a timer. Can I do an on-screen timer? I can, but it'd be a pain in the ass to set up, so I'm not going to. Let's do a 5-minute timer. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. In 5 minutes, we're gonna see how much tough this makes. And I don't know what I'm gonna do on stream for those 5 minutes. You are right, it is the wrong way. However, I'm not burning the iron or the thing anymore, so it doesn't matter. The transfer speed doesn't matter, it's overall item production. So we got that going. We'll let that run. In 5 minutes, we'll check back later and we'll see how much tough we have. I don't really remember why I was doing that, other than to just, like, measure it, I guess. Because I don't know what the other machine does, what the production on that is. I know I calculated it a little while ago. This is a pretty area. This is not at all where I started on this world. I don't even know where spawn is. Not here. Spawn is... somewhere. Try to find out. It is one of those biomes that's a real pain in the ass, you know? Just keep running if I'm in the map. Doesn't sound like it. Okay, better stop then. Yeah, the tall grass biome is where this world's spawn is, although I don't actually think the world spawn is there anymore. I think I moved it while I was screwing around on this world, because I've been doing a bunch of testing on this world. This is the world where I figured out all of the biome mapping. Or, not mapping, but the... And I actually got reminded of this tonight because Chair brought it up. The... Where is it? The Far End Flesh Tundra. That is a biome added by Stellarity, and Stellarity is a data pack, not a mod, meaning it can't add extra blocks. But there are a bunch of blocks in this mod pack that are flesh, and so I thought, well, if it's gonna be a flesh tundra, we might as well put some actual flesh there. And so this is the world that I figured that out on, so if we went to the end in this world, it'd be all fucked up and weird. Is this Stellarity resource pack and a music pack? I did know. I'm pretty sure we have the resource pack. That's the thing that's making the Enderman look all weird. That's why they're purple. Yeah. Endermen don't look like this normally. I don't know if there's a wider resource pack that changes more stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there was. But I just know we got purple Enderman for free. Oh, it's raining. But you don't care, do you? I mean, the thing is, this is going to make more tough than the other machine does, just because there's more spots to have tough. More places to generate it, so, like, there's not really a point in doing this. But oh well. I'm trying to think what the game rule is to stop snow layers from collecting. I know one exists. I don't know how recent it is. I feel like it's not. It can't be that old. It's something to do with griefing, but it wouldn't be mob griefing. Do weather cycles not it? Lava source conversion, that's a fun one. Snow accumulation height. None. That's another fun one. You can turn that up. I don't know why they don't turn it up by like a couple in vanilla, because it would make it pretty neat. I just don't want snow on my things while I'm running a test. You're lucky I didn't turn off the snow immediately. Okay, that's 5 minutes. Enough. I need another cauldron. We got 344 tough. What does that tell us? Nothing. Well, it does tell us, actually. We can tell how much ore we get per. So we'd get 34 nuggets of any type on average. So that's just shy of 4 ingots every 5 minutes. That's not bad. I don't know what the current farm is doing, but it's definitely better. How's the weather IRL? It's getting cold here. It's getting chilly. It was too cold to go for a bike ride today, which was annoying. You got your first permanent snow layer. Nice. We got a frost, actually, today, which is very lucky because we just planted garlic. And we only planted garlic because while we were away on our trip, the garlic in our fridge sprouted. And so we're like, well, we might as well plant this. And then the day after, we got a frost, and that's exactly when you're supposed to get... You're supposed to plant garlic right before the first frost, is what I've always heard, so... Now it's planted. That garlic is almost certainly not going to survive. It is not bred for the climate we live in. grocery store garlic is not typically going to live here very happily. But we can try. It's sprouted in the fridge, so. I hope it grows. That'd be neat. It'd be really cool. It's just one spot of our yard that doesn't kill things. The one spot of our yard that's like evil and pet cemetery-esque, plant cemetery-esque, if you will, currently houses a Saskatoon berry bush that is doing just fine. We had an arborist come by today. That was fun. One of our trees had an issue, but he chopped the shit out of it, and so... Oh yeah, I should maybe explain what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. So, we had... When we moved into this house, we had a bunch of plants in the front, like, planted by the people who built the house. It was, like, part of the package. Was they built nice... They built us a little garden, they planted some plants. And part of what got planted were teacup roses. Now, where I live, it's a little cold for most roses. And so, what they do here is we have a variety of rose called the wild rose, the Alberta wild rose. There are many types of wild roses. But the Alberta wild rose is very well adapted for this kind of weather. So what they do is they take the root system of one of those plants and they graft onto it the roses that people actually want to have the look of. So teacup roses are like the little ones. They're what you think of when you see a rose. Minecraft roses maybe not, but like a wither rose, that is representing a teacup rose in my mind. And so those were planted in our yard. It was teacup roses grafted onto the wild rose root system. But one year they flowered really late and basically the top part of the plant just died. And so we were like, oh, well, that's too bad. The plant is dead. Oh, well. But the next year, something sprouted in that spot. And what grew up were wild roses in a completely different color. So basically what had happened was that the top of the plant died, but the root system was still alive. And here's the thing, we didn't know that's how they had planted these teacup roses here. We just thought they planted teacup roses, they died, and then different roses started growing in their place for no reason. So I had to go and look up how this happened. But yeah, instead of the pink teacup roses, we were getting bright yellow wild roses. And that was super interesting. So those were our zombie roses, and we dug them up because my parents didn't like the look of them. So then we planted a Saskatoon berry bush, and it had a similar fate. It died very quickly. We dug it up, and then we didn't plant anything there. But much to our surprise, the next year, the Saskatoon berry bush was growing there again. So I've convinced them to leave it and to let it grow, and it'll be a long time before we get it. To get any berries off of it, but that's not really why we're growing it. It is just grown as an ornamental plant because the bush looks cute, but I didn't tell you there was a zombie berry bush? Yeah. We dug it right out, and we're like, okay, next year we're gonna plant something there, and then when we went to plant something there, when we looked at the yard in the spring, there was a bush there again. Because that specific spot in our yard is very resilient. Nothing wants to die there. Anyhow. I was talking about something before I got sidetracked talking about zombie roses. Don't know what it was. Okay. Let me think. Let me read. Is it garlic? Oh, right. Okay, the other thing about my yard not being trusted to kill things properly. The garlic is not planted in that part of the yard. The garlic is in our backyard, and it's kind of in like a planter. It's in a big barrel. Or half a barrel. It's been filled with dirt. Because we were planting a bunch of herbs in there. And speaking of, oh my god, the green onions. So we planted just like from the grocery store the end stalks of a bunch of green onions at like the start of spring this year. And we have basically been cutting it back like every time we go out there. And there's still stalks of green onion on there. Like when we left to go on our trip, we cut the whole plant right down to the stem. And we came back and there are like big shoots of green onion again. And it's like, you're putting in so much work, man. These poor grunions. Just like wood barrels. Alright. Well, I've had enough of killing my bit rate here. Also, this does not a tough farm make. We aren't done. First off, what I could do... we need... You've never seen a wood barrel before. They're all over the place in this game. This is a barrel made of wood. It looks like one of these, but cut in half. Let's do some more freeform magic. That's just not how you do that spell. Destroy liquid. Here we are. Because I thought of a better way to do this. What is the default barrel material? Yeah, exactly. What I want to do... Of metal over there. Yeah. There. We move this one over. You've been to a lot of breweries. Painted blue to be more happy still kind of looks industrially. Oops. Okay, if we do this, does it go in? No. I don't care. Okay, yeah, we can move it one closer. Do this. I'm not super pressed about these center ones. Let's kill all the items again, because we don't need it. Okay. So we do this, and then we need crushing wheels. Good old crushing wheels. All right. I don't know how to begin making a farm on stream like this. I feel like I'm just fucking around, which is all I do on stream, but like... Okay. Because the whole thing with this farm is that I'd like the crushing wheels to be able to keep pace with the tough production. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I'd like it to be as close as possible. So what I'm going to do is look at crushing wheel. Damn. Alright, well my favorite way to look at wikis is no longer working because the internet is dying. So I guess I'm going to Fandom Wiki, unfortunately. Oh. Okay. Does Create not have a Fandom Wiki anymore? No, it does. Okay. I got excited for a second there. Does anyone remember how much tough we had after 5 minutes? I sure don't. $344, thank you. Okay. So, 5 minutes is how many game ticks? There are 20 a second, so... 6,000 game ticks, we'll write that down. In 6,000 game ticks, we need to process 344 tough. So there is a formula on the Create wiki. So let's get a calculator out and let's figure this out. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Grab that. Overthink where I'm putting it, of course. Where is my assets? There they are. You hear from my brain. Well, my mind even. Sorry to disappoint, but it's out. Currently out tonight. This is the real problem, actually, is that I'm dead tired tonight. Okay. Here's the formula. I'm doing math on stream, exactly. Now here's the thing, I can't fucking read this. It's tiny on my screen, so I'm gonna put it up here for you guys. You tell me if you guys can read it. And I'm going to look at it on a different menu. Over here. Okay. So, processing time is equal to recipe duration in ticks minus 20. So, let's figure out the recipe duration. This is like, I want to do like the Khan Academy thing. I want to draw all over the screen. Tough is 350 ticks. ticks. This is also just a ridiculous formula. I don't know why it's like this. I'm not able to select that and paste it elsewhere? Select what? The whole formula? No. That's just an image. Okay. The max of 200 no, hold on. Jesus Christ, okay. math on stream, and I'm tired, and I'm sick, but whatever. Recipe duration in ticks, -20. Over the maximum of 0.25, or minimum of RPM over 50 times 4 over log 2 stack size, or 20. Floored, +1 plus input delay. This is an insane formula. I hate this, but can we, like, graph this? Hold on. This is nonsense, but Desmos, can you help me out here? I can spell, probably. Okay. Let me figure this out. Why did it do this? OBS, what is happening? Okay. What am I looking for? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so tired all of a sudden. Where is my... Ah, there it is. Okay. Okay. We're in Desmos now. So we got x is equal to... boy. I don't know how Desmos works. I haven't used Desmos in a very long time. Do we have a floor function? We've gotta. There must be. Is there a search possibility? No. Guess I'm reading. Okay, hold on. Okay, good. We can type in floor. Good. X equals floor of X if we want to... No, that's not how you do functions, if you can believe it. Okay, so that's... We're getting there. We're getting there. Nope. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. This is ridiculous. Okay. 350 minus 20. That's on the top. We know that. And then we want the maximum of either 0.25 or the minimum of okay, so we have two variables we need to look at here. We have the RPM and the stack size, and that's what we're trying to figure out. So the RPM can just be whatever the fuck we want. If we go back to Minecraft really quick and I go onto the server, I'm just gonna go look at what speed I'm running the drills at currently, and we'll use that for the RPM. Which means we need to go steal the speedometer from the basement again, because I only have one. It's not even a speedometer in the basement, it's fully something else. Okay, 128. I'm just gonna stand here so we get to listen to blocks being made and broken while we figure this out. Okay. So 128. Nope, actually, that's not it. It is 128 over 50 times 4 over log base 2. How do I do log base u? Log 2 of the stack size x. There's our function. Or 20. Plus 1. And then the input delay, we can do that later. So x is the stack size, so we only need between 0 and 64. And it seems like, I don't know why the function is this nonsense. Because it does just seem like it only goes up. Like there's no magic crazy number here that makes it better. It really just is a larger stack size is going to be fastest. So if we just do x equals 64 and we find the intersection point here, we're at 194 is how many ticks it will take. Ticks per stack size. Oh, wait, no. Okay, I'm doing this wrong. Well, I'm not doing it wrong. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So, what we are trying to calculate is... What are we trying to calculate here? God, okay. We can flatten the curve significantly if we just run it faster, which makes sense. What is the goal here? We're trying to see how many blocks we need, how many crushing wheels we need, in order to keep up with the production. So, we get 344 every 5 minutes with our wheel there. Bet you didn't think I'd be busting out Desmos on stream today, huh? We get 344 tough each 5 minutes. So that's 6,000 game ticks. Just laying out the parameters here. It takes 97 game ticks to process 64 of that. So in 6,000 game ticks, how much can we process at top speed? And 97. I said 96, I meant 97. The answer is I did that math wrong. Okay. Okay, back to the creative world. Hold on. Something's not right here. Using Desmos on stream sounds like a very Zircon thing to do. Did it start raining? Did I join the server just in time to make sure you don't get to enjoy the rain, Max? I hope that's the situation. Anyway. We need one of these suckers. We need, gearboxes. No, we need chain drives. No, we need gearboxes. Hold on. I'm trying to think. How does this fucking work? There's like a trick to it. You can like... Okay. Run at max speed. Whoa. That was weird. Run at max speed. You crush ice. I mean, I guess you just get nothing. The biggest problem I have with this is that... Oh, you know what? Okay. We fucked up our calculator. This is what we fucked up. We didn't include input delay. Input delay is what the problem is going to be. So... Input delay is the number of ticks it takes for an item to be inserted into the crushing wheels. The input delay is set by the component inserting the items. It's 1 for any funnel, 3 for any chute, and 27 if thrown directly to the crushing wheel. Belts will add more input delay. Okay. That's not... We're getting somewhere. Maybe. Do this. Do that. Belt. Okay. Now... need one of these. And I need to see if I remember how to do something. I want to just count when an item shows up. Okay. Let me think. There must be a way to just, like, give it a number. Okay, so that can do it. I know there's some way to just increment these. Hold on. Nixie tubes exist in real life is the trivia on the Create Fandom wiki page. Anyway. Okay, maybe I just need to, like, think about display links. That's not the W key. Visualize dynamic information, yes. I'm trying to count how many items pass by, you know? Because it's not going to be a final number at the end. We're just gonna try. Okay, I gotta explain myself better. Full sentences, Zircon, come on. I'm gonna be running this at full speed. I'm going to be counting the items that pass through from this end because I have an idea. I may be overcomplicating things, actually, now that I think about it. Alright. So that told me nothing. But what I can do is this. We'll do up to any, I guess. And we'll put a hopper. And I will give fake zircon. Hold on. First off, make sure I have no tough in my inventory. Give fake zircon tough 344. Don't know why I chose a hopper for this actually, when I could do it much faster. There. 344 tough in the vault will be dispensed out into this. And this can just go nowhere, it doesn't matter. Needs to go out, that's it. So, how do we power this? Is the question. That works. Break that for now. That works. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. I don't know why I did that. Okay, hold on. I'm fixing this. We're gonna run a proper test. I'm just tired. Okay, we have 344 tough in there. We got this thing running, cranking at full speed. We're gonna time how long it takes it to get through 344 tough. And you know what I'm going to say? It's gonna be less than 5 minutes. If we do this, and I start it, and we sit here and watch. It's really funny to me to watch all those items just get flung off into the distance. Alright, so it took 30 seconds, so full speed can do it. Full speed has no problem at all with it. So... how about half speed? Because these things take up a lot of energy. Did you guys know that the Control Q button on... okay, so if you're, like, playing this game on Mac, and you do Control Q to throw it out, that shortcut does not work on Mac because that will close the game instead, because Command Q closes games. They fixed that in the most recent snapshot. By the way, did you guys check out the most recent snapshot? It's pretty neat. They've got, like, the Nautilus in it. It's cool. I found a naturally spawned zombie horse, and I immediately got a rare drop because zombie horses can be fed red mushrooms, and so zombie horse riders, if you kill a zombie on a zombie horse, they have a chance of dropping a red mushroom. And I killed the zombie on the zombie horse, and it dropped a red mushroom immediately. Anyway, we're going. Timers are running. Since this update, Navy. Clipper, it didn't happen. I can go do it again. But yeah, the zombie horses have been in the game for a long-ass time. As long as the skeleton horses have been. They just didn't have a reason to spawn naturally, and so now they do. Now they'll show up, and the zombies that ride them have spears. And what's really funny is they'll do the charge attack and attack all of the mobs around them, because the spears do a bunch of AoE. And then all of the mobs around them will start fighting them, and then they kill the horse and the zombie. So I think they're going to change how those work. Alright, time. It took a minute to get through that at half speed. Yeah, spears. Also in the new update. Spears. Okay. You're so behind on updates? Aren't we all? To be honest, I just, like... The Minecraft development cycle is not making me super happy currently. I'm not happy. But, I'm also not in charge. If they want to run their game this way, do whatever. My biggest issue with it is that it is so bad for the modding community, but that is pretty much why they do it this way. Mojang, well, Microsoft. Mojang, I don't really know if that company has an opinion at all anymore. Microsoft has kind of consumed it. Microsoft does not like the fact that modding exists on Java Edition. They can't get rid of it, because the way that Java Edition is, and the fact that the server and game jars are all publicly hosted the way they are, they can't force us to not update the game. Or they can't force us to update the game, like they do with Bedrock. And basically just the presence of external launchers in the way that they exist now means that the most they could do is lock us out of future updates, and I cannot imagine them ever doing that, because that would be monumentally stupid. But they would prefer that everybody play on Bedrock Edition, where they can force you to update the game, where the Minecraft Marketplace exists and is a thing, all that fun stuff. I don't know if I had a point with that. I don't like Bedrock Edition, and it's not just because it's not Java Edition, but because it is home to rather predatory business practices by Microsoft that make me upset. And I remember my point now. The Minecraft update development cycle currently is working to make it so modders just have to pick a version and stick with it, and don't get the new features. Which is why I'm playing on 1.20.1, when we are at 1.21.7, or what is it now? What are we even at? Where are we at? 1.21.10. Jesus. Yeah, so even the Vanilla Plus quality of life mods are getting left behind. They are working to just overwork modders, basically. Have so many different versions that people want to be supported because everybody wants to play with the new features, and then there is no stable modding version. Well, there is a stable modding version currently, but it's... Ooh, this one's got a basement. Yeah. Microsoft. Oh, it's rusty. Whoa. In a row. Okay. It's break time. I'll be back in 4 minutes, maybe with less ranting about Mojang. Who knows? BRB. Alrighty. So, you guys are talking about armor trims that are new. Those are 2 years old. Armor trims are 2 years old. 2 whole years old. They came out 2 years ago. You know what else was added 2 years ago? Cherry wood. Bookshelf, chiseled bookshelves. Bamboo is a wood type. Trail ruins, 2 years old. So, because I'm looking at the Minecraft wiki right now, so I can fact check myself. Yeah, so trail ruins are 2 years old. Bones has done one of them in the past 2 years. He's done a couple more, actually. He just destroyed them with the tunnel bore is all. But you guys are talking about, like, I still feel like horses are new. I still feel like the last update was 1.8, which is crazy, Max. That's nuts. The newest thing you can think of is the Nether update, all that fun stuff. I still feel like... Well, okay, I don't genuinely, but I do a little bit feel like the wood crafting recipes are new, specifically the fences. I feel like, no. I will never get over the fence recipe changing. Old man. Yeah. Sniffers are 2 years old. Fucking sniffers. One day, I'll be over that. But not today. Camels as well. Brand new. You were thinking of the trial chambers. I love trial chambers. However, they are not in the version we play on. Stop calling me an old man. Come on, guys. I was told I can't call them old man shoes anymore. Because I am not an old man, and I'll make the old men that I've met wearing those shoes feel bad. It's not my fault that they all seem to have the same sense of taste in shoe wear. I don't see how that has anything to do with me. They should be calling them young man shoes, as I am a young man who wears them. Okay. This stream's not going that much longer. God, what the hell am I doing? You should do a grand staircase. I love grand staircases. It's a little bit given up. The brain's... it's in there. I would love to have the trial chambers in this version, or in this mod pack. But alas, it's not in the cards. The brain, it's in there. He's sick and got up at like 5 a.m. Okay, no, I slept in today. I got up at like 7 a.m. Granted, normally I get up much later than that, but you know. I'm jet lagged, man. I was on Germany time. That was like a time difference of a lot of hours. 8? 9 hours? 9 hours. 8 hours. Thank you, Navy. London is 7 hours. I was thinking London is 8 hours difference. With the UK, not London. Well, yes, London, but not only. Yeah, I was in Germany. We're going over the list again. I was in Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, and then back to Germany. And I said them in order this time. Because we did like a little tour thing. We were in a coach. I was on a bus with like 40 other people. And that's why I'm sick. 15 hours difference. That is crazy. It's the same as Tokyo. What time is it, Stump? It is... like 2 p.m.? Yeah. 140. Here's the other fun thing. So, like, what was I talking about? I was going to talk about my trip. Mostly about not having so much of, like, the, oh, weird, how strange we're in Europe and things are different this time around, because, like, I already got a good dose of that when we were in the UK 2 years ago. So that was neat. To, like, get there and it's not all that strange. It was really interesting because this was not how I felt, but this was how multiple people in our traveling group felt, that the Germany and the other places was not as weird and, like, you didn't feel as different there as we felt in the UK, which was interesting. And I didn't really agree with that. I don't know. I felt about the same amount of different there. I don't really have a point to that. Just talking. Just saying words. What else? What else can I talk about? I do have to, like, make this farm look nice, but it's pretty much just going to be... Like, here's the issue, is that this was not the first time we were on a group tour. When we were in the UK, we had a short tour with a group that was much smaller, maybe about 15 people. And we really, really enjoyed it. It was like another bus coach tour, and we just loved it. We had such a good time. All of the planning for getting to place was dealt with. No one had to drive. And so when we went on this trip, we decided we're just going to tour the whole time. Which we almost didn't. Or we didn't tour the whole time. We did have one stop. Technically 2 that were on our own. Because we were in Munich, and if you know what time of year it is in Munich, or what time of year it was when we left, it was Oktoberfest. So that was pretty interesting. To be in Munich for Oktoberfest was very cool. Not really my scene, because kind of the whole point is drinking, and I don't, but my family enjoyed themselves. Yeah, so yeah, we went to Oktoberfest, and every other year, what Oktoberfest does is they put on a whole, like... I don't even know how to explain it, like a festival. Like, not even a festival, like... a fair, that's it. Not hard to explain, I just couldn't find the words. They put on a fair every other year. So that just so happened to be this year. They had the big fair on, and there was a massive Ferris wheel that we did get to ride on. There was a very cool, like, swing thing that I didn't get to go on because no one would go up with me. And I didn't end up really wanting to do it anyway because it was very cold that day. And I'm not explaining myself well. We only were there like a day and a half, basically, and then the tour started. And then we went all around. And it was pretty neat. And the other cool thing about this tour, as opposed to the first one my family went on, is that the people on this tour were, like, very ready to make friends with each other. And I went on this trip thinking, like, I'm gonna make an effort to actually talk to and befriend the people on this tour. And then I got on the tour, and basically everybody on the tour is, like, retirees. Which makes sense. The people who have money to travel tend to be older. But then it was just a little interesting, you know? But they were all very nice. And, like, I didn't feel alienated because of my age or anything, so that was nice. It was interesting talking to people from pretty much all over the world. English speaking mostly, because the tour was in English. And oh my god, our guide, like our travel director, was so good. She was just extremely funny. And just exactly the kind of person you would want working that job. She loved her job, knew people in every place we went, knew, like, the history of every place we went, and was so knowledgeable about just the places. Like, you could ask her, like, hey, do you know where we could find so-and-so? And she'd be like, oh yeah, right there, right. Do you know where we could find... I'm trying to think of a good example of something obscure. But she was just, like, on it. She knew where everything was. In every city we went to, she was very knowledgeable. Very funny. A good public speaker. She was Australian. She speaks a good number of languages. She spoke German for sure. She spoke a little bit of Hungarian. She speaks Italian. English, obviously. Just a lot of different languages. Very, very cool to me. Personally, I think polyglots are extremely cool. Hungarian is a very tough one. It is one of 3 modern languages still spoken in that language group. The Uralic languages, I think? It comes from the Uyghurs, so yeah, Uralic. Spelled like... I'm not gonna try and spell, actually. It's spelled with a U. The others being Finnish and... I want to say Estonian? I don't actually know. Estonian, yes. Finnish, Hungarian, and Estonian are like the largest Uralic languages still spoken. Very, very cool languages. Very different from the Germanic languages. And the other one. Well, there's a lot of other ones, actually. They're just not as large, you know? Yeah. I think there's a bunch in Northern Europe as well. Like around Finland. Of minority languages like that. Minority languages are so cool. I don't know. I would really like to learn Cree at some point in my life. That's like... would make me very happy. Anyhow. Cree is not an Uralic language. That's just... minority languages are very neat to me. Languages in general are very neat to me, but like minority languages specifically, very interesting. But yeah, my tour guide, or not even tour guide, travel director, because we had guides in the cities as well, which was great. Because, oh my god, some of the funniest people I have ever met were these guides on our tours. And just, like, very deadpan humor. Which... I don't even know how to explain why these people were so funny. There were 2 in specific. Our guide in, Prague. He was an extremely funny guy. He grew up under communism. And was, like, very... an actual, like, far leftist. Not the Overton window far leftist you think of, but like an actual, like... I don't know. He was interesting, that's for sure. Very pro-socialism, which was surprising to my family, because... I guess on a level surprising to me. I'm wording it like I'm so above them. I wasn't surprised by this at all, but it was a little surprising to me. That... And I guess that's just the strength of the propaganda machine in the West, that you hear about these countries that were under communism for so long, and you hear about and you think like, oh, well, they must not be very socialist at all then because they knew how bad it was under communism. But no, a lot of these countries are extremely socialist because socialism is not communism, and they just, God, oh, I can't even think about this because I'm gonna start ranting about public transportation again. I already had this rant tonight. I already did this tonight. I already had a conversation about how shitty the public transit is in my house, in my hometown. And that's like the best part of these trips for me is getting to ride public transit in European cities. Oh my god. I got to ride the metro in Budapest, which, if you guys don't know, this is a tidbit from mini metros even, the metro in Budapest is the second oldest underground in the whole world, and it is the first one to be fully electric from the get-go. And I got to ride that metro, and oh my god, it's so neat. Because basically, I'm doing like a just chatting stream. Yes, London is the oldest. We're chatting. I'll let you see things spin. What the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I gotta ride that metro. When I went on it, I didn't realize that it went under the river. And so I got onto the, like, we saw it and we're like, oh, this train's going to somewhere across the river. It must be like a train bridge or something. And then we got on the train, or we got into the station and we started, like, getting down to the platform, and you step onto the escalator, and it feels like you're immediately looking off the edge of a cliff, because the escalator just goes down so far. Okay, I have a picture of this. I'm gonna get the picture, because it's a really good picture. It was, like, mind-bending. Vertigo-inducing. It was crazy. It's honestly a highlight of my trip is stepping out over the edge of that escalator, because there was no indication of how far down it went when you walked up to it. So let me find that picture, because... Alright, yeah, I gotta go to bed soon, probably. Because I almost said something that I will explain what I was going to say. So basically, while I was at Oktoberfest, we were, like, looking around at all the souvenirs there, and one of the souvenirs they had that, like, really struck me for some fucking reason, it's really stuck with me just because it's so out there and wild, is a rubber duck. Two rubber ducks in, like, the traditional dress in lederhosen and a dirndl. Very cool, except that they went out of their way to make this rubber duck, like, busty. And, like, it's not just painted on, and that's what sucks about the picture I took of these, is that it looks like it could just be painted on, but from another angle, it's like they're there. Anyway, I was talking about escalators. It's not a fascination. I mean, it is a little bit, but I can't control it. What was I doing? I was sending this image to my computer because I don't actually have it on my computer currently. I am not even gonna bother trying to spell that. Okay. Hold on. Shit, wait. Hold on. There we go. I feel like I used to have a better way of doing this. Or a way that caused me less grief anyway, but there's the escalator. You can see just how far that goes. It's crazy. And I got to ride that. I got to step out into off the edge of that escalator, and that thing moved like scary fast because it's a long escalator. You don't want to be standing on there forever. But like getting onto it was honestly a little bit intimidating. And then we went across the street, or across the river even, to a Lego store that was actually just in a dungeon. Like, it was underground, in a cellar, in like an old building that has probably been there for hundreds of years, and now there's just a Lego store in there. And that's what I really love about European cities, is that sometimes you put a toy store, in a dungeon. And that's just normal. And I sound like there's gotta be a term for it. What's the term? What's the equivalent of a weeaboo for Europe? Because that's what I sound like, and I know it. A Westaboo? Is that it? There's gotta be a better one. That kind of sucks. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I feel like nope. I definitely had a better way of doing this. A T-boo. Tea-boo. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I had a lot of tea in Europe, both times I've been there. They don't have Tim Hortons in Europe, largely. I think there's some, but not many. And I can't get my normal fixin' of caffeine, which is an iced cap. So I drink a lot of tea when I'm in Europe, and never when I'm not. It's the one thing that's keeping me in Canada, man. You know of one Timmy's? That's a tragedy, Navy. It's not. They're not that good. They've honestly only gone downhill. But alas, I am Canadian. Speaking of being Canadian, I got to press a maple leaf today. We got a big maple tree. Well, not big. We've got a teenaged maple tree. We've got a maple tree in our yard. And it's a very brilliant red this year. Like, truly a ridiculous red. I love it so much. It's like jewel tones. It's like, hold on, I'll find a block that's the same color. This is, like, pretty close. It's like this color. Basically. And I went out today thinking, like, oh, well, because I like to press leaves sometimes, and I thought, well, if I want to press leaves from this tree, I should do it soon. And I'm glad I went out, because I, like, lightly touched a leaf on that tree, and it fell out into my hand, so I don't think the leaves are going to be on there for very much longer. But I got one, and it looks pretty nice. Navy, what's another one-off, but very popular in the Americas restaurant that you know of? Because now I'm curious. Taco Bell? You have one Taco Bell? You know what else I've been getting into recently? Okay. So... Oh, here's the other thing. I got to see the Lovelock Bridge. I don't think they call it that. But the one in, Prague. I got to see that, and it was very cool. Chick-fil-A, that's lame. We have some of those around. Carl Jr.'s, I think... Excuse me, holy. I think we have some of those somewhere. I don't know if they're around here. They might be. I don't know, fast food chains are interesting. Chick-fil-A is a chicken restaurant that is run by very openly homophobic people. And that is the extent of my knowledge of Chick-fil-A. And when I say it like that, it sounds like a mom and pop place. It's not. It's like corporatized. Speaking of, okay, so in Hungary, we went to a burger place called Simon's Burger. And first off, it was really good. They had very good fries. I enjoyed the cheese fries a lot. But they had like the company story on the side of the bag. And it basically just outlined that, and it was a bit of culture shock, where in the States and Canada, you would never have a company just be like, oh yeah, we got lucky, and we're thankful for it, but like, that's how we took off. Like, it's all about the work ethic, the bootstraps, we did this all on our own, but not so. This company story was just like, yeah, a review of my website or of my restaurant blew up on YouTube, and then it's all been uphill from there. However, not even however, segue, they have merch. They have merch that I really wanted the t-shirt. Because it's so funny. Because it's like, it's a Hungarian burger restaurant, right? Hold on. Give me the shirt. Why do these not work? Oh, because they're web Ps, of course. Okay, hold on. There. Fucking web Ps. Anyway, this t-shirt, I desperately wanted it, but they didn't have any in the store when we went. And I was so sad. I did get a bunch of novelty cups, though. So I'm happy with that. I'm moving out with those things. You learned of the existence of a Popeyes and a Wendy's that you didn't previously know of. Nice. I get Wendy's reasonably often. God, we're talking about a lot of brands tonight. All right. What are we talking about? Where were we? talking about my vacation, largely. I can't even remember how we got... Well, we started talking about Tim Hortons is how we got here, actually. But yeah, I like me some tea when I don't get an ice cap. So that's largely what I was drinking in Europe. I love a good English breakfast tea. And I love some good public transport. And I love me some socialism. Really, Europe is the place for me. One day, maybe. I don't actually know. I would like home to me more like Europe. But barring that, there is one way to make home more like Europe, and that is to make home Europe. Or Europe home, more. I just don't know where I'd live. I also want to learn more languages, you know? Just... There's so many things in the world. What a broad fucking statement. Oh my god. I'm being YouTube Shorts right now? Okay, hold on. Let me find a Tumblr story to read. Let me blank it out one word at a time so you can't just screenshot it and read it. You have to listen to me read it. Better yet, a robotic voice. I saw so many pigeons on the trip. I took so many pictures of pigeons. I also have like a whole album, and I need to share this with Corey specifically, so I'm gonna get around to doing that at some point. I just haven't figured out a good format to get it to him in, but I took a lot of pictures specifically of angel statues. Because there are a lot of them. And I know that he likes those things, so... I kind of went out of my way to get as many pictures of them as I could, and now I have a big album of them. Although, to be fair, I did miss out on one place that had a lot of them. They were, like, the fake... They're not fake, but inaccurate cherubs, like the baby ones. There was a restaurant that parts of the group went to, but not everybody went to. How many photos did I take in total? I have no idea. I don't sort my photos like that. I'm gonna find... Oh, less than you for sure. I took a lot of photos, but I'm not comparing to Bones there. How many photos did you take on your trip, Bones? I know it was a lot. Hold on, I'm just getting an image for everybody. Another nice, fun image. Fuck, I forgot again. I gotta do this, and then do this. Yeah, one nice big cloud. No, it's a really good image, hold on. Some of you have already seen this image, but this is perhaps the best image I took on the trip. It's Buster. He came with me. Buster has now been to almost as many countries as I have. Buster, God Raising the Alps. Yeah, exactly. Max, is this better YouTube Shorts content? If I block the parkour, is that better? I guess that's what they do. That's literally exactly what they do. Hold on. Let me make it more accurate. There, now you can kind of still see the game. Gotta go into F1 mode as well, of course. There you go. I'm trying to, like, enjoy my bit, but that's making me really awful at parkour. Okay. What other good pictures did I take on this trip? Lots. Don't know why I thought there'd be, like, a small amount. I took a lot of pictures on this trip. We got to drive on the Autobahn. That was neat. Did I show chat the rubber ducks I'm so invested in? No, because they're not that interesting. They're just, like... They exist. I feel like I would tarnish it. I would tarnish the idea if I showed you the image. Everyone needs to, in their mind, just picture a busty rubber duck. Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's find someone to raid. Yeah, okay. We're gonna find someone to raid. Because at a certain point, I start to hear myself talking. It's gonna be the clip of all time. Who's live? During your 3 days in the US, you took 35 pictures. That doesn't feel like that many pictures, Navy. I've definitely taken more than 35 pictures in each of the countries I was in. I took one specific picture of the Hungarian parliament that, like, I ended up airdropping to around 7 different people on our tour because they just kept, like, asking to see it. So basically, I got up early to go get this picture because it was really beautiful. I was told it was like a specific, oh, if you really care about photography here, if you really want to get a good shot, this is what you do. So I got up early and I went to go take this picture, and I am very happy with the picture. It looks beautiful. But I ended up showing it to other people on the tour, and they were like, can you, like, send this to me? Can you airdrop this to me so that I can show it to other people and be like, I took this picture? And I'm like, sure. And they were saying it, like, jokingly, but I also know that they were going to do that. So there it is. There's my nice picture of Hungarian Parliament. But yeah, got up early for the sunrise, walked along the road on the edge of, or on the other side of the river until I was, like, dead nuts in front of it, and there was a car parked right there. So I ended up standing with my phone way over my head and just taking a shitload of pictures, and one of them turned out pretty nicely. So there it is. Okay, nobody is live that I feel like raiding, so who's playing modded Minecraft? Find me someone playing interesting modded Minecraft. terraforming the lake, but they spelled it wrong. They're talking about something that I'm not gonna read into. Okay. Sorry, it's showing me the thumbnail of my own stream and it's me showing pictures. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know who to raid. Twitch. Show me interesting people, damn it. Raid Vine Sauce? Who's live? Who's playing? I'm not watching ads. Get me out of here. Okay. Fucking Twitch. We could raid Liz, actually. Liz is live. Let's raid Liz. They're playing a horror game of some sort. I feel like I've seen a lot of people playing No, I'm Not a Human, but I don't know anything about it. That's another thing. It's October now. I should pick like a horror game to play at some point. I got a list of games to play, so. Anyway, this has been an interesting stream. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all had fun. I'll be back on Monday. Hopefully I won't be sick and I'll be less jet lagged. I won't be jet lagged at that point, hopefully. I thought I wouldn't be at this point, but you know, me being sick doesn't help. I am gonna have like a slideshow next stream. And we're gonna play mini metros because I want to play more mini metros. I was actually gonna, that was kind of the plan tonight. The original plan was get on the server, go over to Bones's place, update the map, and then play mini metros. But that was contingent on me having a slideshow to show you guys like up in the corner while I played. And then that didn't happen. So sneak peek for next stream. Yeah, go say hi to Liz. Goodbye. And good night, VOD watchers.